welcome. I'm Simon Leach. Here we are in the studio again, and I'm going to get stuck into making some flower pots. 4 pounds of clay. Let's get down on the wheel head where the action is. Down there. And let's just move the camera in a touch. Just bringing you in on this. We're going to start making some flower pots because, well, it's the season of flowers, so we better have some pots to put them in. In fact, this is my regular clay, which actually comes out in its biscuited state, which of course flower pots are only really biscuit fired. Comes out a rather pale colour. Pass me that plate now. That's how they come out in the biscuited finished colour. It's not a colour actually I want for the flower pot, so I'm going to be in fact doing a little treatment on them to change the colour. So, coning up the clay. Going down. And of course, because it's a flower pot, I'm going to go right the way down to the wheel head in the middle here for the hole. It's quite stiff, this clay. Especially on a kick wheel. Now for this kind of lift, I'm going to try and lift rather with my knuckle rather than with my fingers. I'm taking it up like that to there, but I'm not taking it right up to the very top, so I want to leave the rim a little bit chunky, because flower pots need to have a chunky rim. Basically a cylinder. Very slightly bowed shape here. Using my stick as a rib. When you spend a lot of time making things like coffee mugs and things of that nature, coming around to making something like flower pots is actually quite refreshing, because there's a simplicity about it. I don't know if you've been following my latest clips, but You've seen me down in the garden there processing some clay which we are going to actually use to make the flower pots out of, which is actually a more of a nice reddy brown colour, more of the sort of typical. Now I'm not bothering to leather these as such, maybe just use my fingers in that manner there just to make it round on the top. Okay, let's cut him off. Now I'm not making these to any kind of gauge. Alright, now remember, piece of paper on the top, because when I lift this I want to get him off in one piece without him collapsing. So there we are, putting him down there, and just carefully, if you do this, be careful when you peel the paper off, alright? Now if where the paper was just leaves a very slight bit of raggedness there, but don't worry about that. We'll come back to that with a sponge in a little while. Right, let's do one more. Are we in the picture? Coating up. Wheel's making a funny noise. It seems that something is rubbing. Right the way down to the base, to the wheel head. In that first, and now cutting across with my fingers, forming the base. Compress the rim, always a good manoeuvre. And now lifting up. See that movement of my fingers there? That little bit of skin between my fingers just going over there, keeping that nice and round. Remember, don't follow over the rim. Stop about an inch below the rim. What I'm looking for is a flared shape with a slight curve to it, a slight bit of belly there. Okay. These are probably in some ways easier made on an electric wheel. I'm not being too fussed about them all having to be exactly the same size, but I'm wanting to get the general flare or opening of them roughly the same, so they can sit inside each other inside the kiln. I think the spindle of my wheel is rubbing against the box there somewhere. Cutting off, bit of paper. A bit of paper's gone west, so we'll grab another. Bit of newspaper is all you need here. Stop the wheel, down on the wheel head. Now press it all the way around so you get a seal. You've got to stop the air from coming out, you see. That's the important thing. Alright, now then, see if we can lift him off. There we go. Put him down there. And then carefully just pull off the paper. Don't worry about it looking rough right now, as I said. Later, or tomorrow morning, with a sponge, I'll just go like that, and that's done. Okay folks, hey, spring's on the way. Let's make some flower pots. Keep practicing. See you in the next clip.